So it's the month of October and I saw the movie The Skeleton Twins. When I saw that the two leading actors in the movie The Skeleton Twins is Kristen Wiig and Bill Hader, I had to see this movie. There was no doubt in my mind. These two actors are like two of my favorites from SNL. They are always guaranteed to make me laugh or smile, and they still do that in this movie. And aside from them being great comedians, they also show that they're really great at acting. This movie is definitely a look at another way of looking at family dysfunction. And it's centered around two siblings, Milo and Maggie, who were very, very tight growing up. But based on unfortunate events, it had been 10 years since they had spoken. And something brings them together, and they have to face the skeletons in their closet. Do you see what I did there? Did you see the skeletons in the closet, the skeleton twins? And of course, like many movies that kind of base the plot around family dysfunction, while it does showcase their problems and all their unique quirks and everything like that, it definitely shows that their love is what keeps them together, and at the end of the day, they realize love is what brings us together. Hands down, the best thing in this movie is the chemistry between the two leading actors, Bill Hader and Kristen Wiig. The chemistry between these two actors is definite. There's no denying it. They have great chemistry. You can tell that they're good friends in real life, and it just makes the connection between Miles and Maggie so much more closer, so much more real, and it just really makes you care about these two characters. There were a few scenes of Miles and Maggie together, and they were just having fun and they were goofing around together and they were laughing and they were having so much fun, and you could tell that it was real. You can tell when actors are like really, really laughing, and it just, without a doubt, I was cracking up and I was smiling right along with them because it was just so genuine and it was so real, and it was really, really nice to see because you could just tell that Kristen and Bill are like real friends in real life, and they truly do care about each other. And for a movie like this where it's just centered on these two siblings who you can tell there's been a lot that probably drove them apart but brings them back together, but they're tied down by this deep love that they have because they're family, and it just makes it so believable and it just makes you care. And you know, when the times got rough and when real emotions started coming to the surface and they had to face the skeletons in their closet, and there were some really kind of like deep, dark, emotional moments in this movie, whether they were laughing or crying, you could just tell that the emotion was real, that it was being brought out of a real thing. While Kristen Wiig did a great job as Maggie in this movie, to me, the real star of this movie is Bill Hader as Miles. He plays this gay guy who's very troubled and is a struggling actor and has been really kind of down his luck, and just life has kind of like given him a lot to deal with. But he's just so witty and he's so funny and it just seems so natural, and he just owns it. Every time he's on screen, he's just a complete joy to watch. Kristen Wiig, when she's funny, man, like without a doubt, she can make me laugh. She does these very subtle facial movements, and the things that she does, it cracks me up. And when she's funny in this movie, she really is funny. She will bring a smile to your face. But Kristen Wiig also has this thing where in a lot of the movies that she's in, she kind of plays this like same role of this woman who is kind of like, she kind of stammers, and she's kind of like awkward and kind of sad about these certain things in her life, and she has to get her life together. She kind of plays that same role, and this one is not completely typecasted, but there's a lot of similarities where it wasn't anything new, and it was kind of like Kristen Wiig kind of doing the same thing. But what was very surprising to see is that in this movie, Maggie is going through some really tough things with herself that is brought to the surface, especially when Miles is back into the picture. And there are some moments where, Kristen Wiig delivers in Maggie's role where she's getting emotional and she's crying, and Kristen Wiig really does a good job at getting into those deep emotions, and it's something I don't see a lot from her. There were scenes where she really let her emotions take over, and I was like, wow, Kristen Wiig, not only can she make you laugh at the drop of a hat, but she can really turn on her emotions. She can really step up her acting game. Now this movie does kind of fall into like the typical indie, my family's really weird and unique and we have all these problems, but we love each other still. It does fall into that category. It's nothing too surprising. It's not necessarily predictable, but you've seen this kind of movie before. But what this movie does a really good job at is that it makes it stand out by its acting performances. Pretty much everybody in this movie does a wonderful job. They are all very particular in their ways, but you kind of love them even with their faults. The performances alone is what makes this movie shine, and especially the chemistry between Bill Hader and Kristen Wiig as Miles and Maggie. Their chemistry is just so great in real life and in this movie. It's definitely what sells this movie. It's definitely what made this movie so enjoyable to watch and why I had a good time in the theater watching them together. The movie has good pacing overall. It doesn't seem too long. I guess the one thing I'd have to say is that the ending seemed a little bit unfinished. Like certain characters in this movie other than Miles and Maggie, I felt like they were kind of like left to dry. Like what happens to them? Like what's going on with them? It's just kind of, the movie just kind of ends kind of suddenly to me. It was a little unexpected, but it was kind of a good thing because you didn't want the movie to seem too long. It's goofy, it's very heartfelt, and it's a definite homage to the friendship Bill Hader and Kristen Wiig have with each other. But yeah, overall, I give this movie a B+. I would definitely recommend it, and I would definitely watch it again. This is a movie you want to see with some wine and some friends. Good movie.